It's 1959, and you just watched Ben Hur. Well, talk about Easter movies. I love Easter. It's one of my favorite holidays. So I love God, and I just think it's such a wonderful time of year to catch up on old classics like this and watch new films that are coming out because spring's coming. It's just a wonderful time of year. And I'm a very seasonal movie watcher, as I have stated. Ben Hur is the definition of an epic. Like I said, this movie came out in 1959, and it stars Charlton Heston, amongst many other legendary actors of the times like Jack Hawkins, Stephen Boyd, Hugh Griffith, Martha Scott, and the list goes on and on. William Wyler directed this, and when you watch this movie, it's a long movie, and it does have an intermission. Movies did then. I hope that does come back because I want people to go to the theaters and I want them to be able to take breaks. I want long movies. I want Lawrence of Arabia's. I want Ben Hur's because there is a place for them. This movie focuses on a Jewish prince, Judah Ben Hur, who basically is in his city, and I'm not going to get into the plot of this. It's very intricate. It's very long. But basically, his best friend from childhood, or one of his friends from childhood, comes back as a Roman leader. And basically, on their march into the city, a stone falls off of Ben Hur's house, kills or injures a bunch of Roman soldiers, and they arrest him and they arrest his family. And that kicks off the start.
Let me tell you what happened. It was an accident. I was standing in the roof.
This is the man, sir. We saw him.
An accident.
And you have this dynamic through the film of two friends, now mortal enemies. But it does follow Ben Hur. It's not just about his friend. It's about his journey home or his journey to becoming whatever leader he has. But as this movie goes on, there is a parallel of Jesus and Jesus' story, which is very interesting and very interesting for the time. Yes, it's a story of Jesus. It's a story of Easter. It's a story of the Passion. But it follows another person, and it's from his perspective. So, for example, as he's being taken as a prisoner, they're marching with the line and they're getting whipped. You know, Jesus is in the background. Jesus gives him water. You never see his face fully. He's the carpenter on a hill. He's the movement that's happening. And that's a fascinating way to tell the story. Now, for the general plot, yes, Ben Hur, Charlton Heston does eventually triumph, but the story is so long, the story is so deep, and the story is so epic. And yes, it's from 1959, so there are heavily dated elements. There are heavily historic and accurate elements. But who cares? It's Ben Hur. I mean, the chariot race alone is incredible. Now, would that get made today? Probably not. They wouldn't use real horses, but they actually did it. You watch this movie, and especially that scene, with your jaw on the floor. And then when Masala, Ben Hur's best friend, the man who he became mortal enemies with, falls under the horses and falls under the carriage, it is brutal for the time to see that on cinema or on screen. If you're in the mood to just sit down, put on a 3.5-hour epic on a Sunday, then put on Ben Hur. Yes, Charlton Heston is heavy-handed, but it's Charlton Heston. He's supposed to be heavy-handed. He's supposed to be dramatic, and he really rocks this role. All the side characters are incredible. Jack Hawkins, who's the Roman leader, I think he's a general or whatever, he's on the ship that Charlton Heston basically escapes from after there's a naval battle. So he goes to Rome, and that's his ascension. You have his mother, his family, who are then held captive. We learn later on that they've become leapers. And they get healed of it, of course, later on in a beautiful scene that isn't necessarily biblical, but it has biblical elements to it, where they get healed by the rain that Jesus was crucified under. But the set design, the costumes, the scale, you can just have to be in awe of what they did on screen. It harkens back to Lawrence of Arabia style shoots, Bridge on the River Kwai, those large scale David Lean type epics. And William Wyler did a fantastic job here. Let's not forget, too, at the time, Ben Hur was using state-of-the-art anamorphic lenses, which gave you an aspect ratio of 276:1. This was later improved upon to Panavision, but this was very common at the time, especially since movies were in theaters and you wanted to get a really epic experience. The dialogue, the long-winded discussions, the politics of the movie. The time period. No, it's not historically accurate. I'm sure a lot of costumes, etc., were very Hollywoodized. There's no subtitles. It's all in English. You have a lot of white characters playing Middle Eastern characters, but who cares? It's a story. We cannot get caught up on those things because then we lose sight of the story and the narrative, and we get caught up in, oh, I need this person, I need that person, rather than merit, rather than skill. You'll notice, too, in films like this, there aren't a lot of cuts. There aren't a lot of, you know, for example, the scene where Jack Hawkins and Charlton Heston, Ben Hur and the Roman general are stuck on a raft and Charlton Heston's got him handcuffed. Now he's in charge. It's really one shot. You know, movies now, there's a lot of cuts, there's a lot of CGI shots, there's a lot of shots they were never able to achieve back then due to equipment or, you know, lack of invention. So it was really heavy on the dialogue and the story. I mean, there's takes from films back then, and like Ben Hur, where it's just whoosh, just holds, and then it cuts to the next scene. Very generic, very standard, but the story's there and the acting's there. And then you could have a movie, 90%, 99% of the movie have shots like that, and then you do the chariot race, people are going to remember it. That's just the way it was. You know, film costs money. If you're shooting a digital movie, you have memory cards, you just reshoot. Back then, you have film reels this big, especially on cameras like that, where every time you shot a scene, you're spending money. So they had to go through a lot of these scenes quickly and then take time at the chariot race type scenes. It really is incredible. These movies took forever to shoot. They were giant projects. No green screens, all on location. Look at the set and costume design and extras they had when Ben Hur's marching into Rome to meet, I think it's Tiberius, Caesar, who is the Caesar that was alive when Christ was sacrificed.
This man riding beside you, who is he?
The man who saved me, Divine Emperor, to return and serve you.
Is that all you know about him?
There's not a single thing I would want changed about this movie. Now, the remake came out not too long ago, 8 years ago? Maybe shorter, I don't know. Did nothing, didn't even hear of it. And I'm sure it had better effects. I'm sure it was more whatever. Yeah. You have to understand, Ben Hur came out in 1959. That was like lightning in a bottle. No one's ever seen anything like that. And it's been timeless ever since. 3.5 hours long. Like a half hour, 20-minute intermission. And an overture in the beginning. No one has the patience for that now. But we need to appreciate these movies. We need to study them and keep them safe and keep them, you know, in our zeitgeist as a culture. Because movies nowadays don't last long. They come and go. Oh yeah, I saw that, did you? Oh, I saw that. Hey, did you see it? No, did you see that? There's too much. We used to quote movies. We're still quoting movies. The Chariot Race. Who remembers The Chariot Race from Ben Hur? I was born in 1985. That movie came out in 1959. But I remember it because I see it and I watch it. And it's just so intense. And it's generational, right? Saving Private Ryan. E.T. Star Wars. There's some movies that will just always remain culturally relevant And there was much more quotable movies back. There were many more quotable movies back then. We don't quote movies much anymore. We don't remember movies much anymore. So that being said, if you haven't seen it, please find the time to sit down and watch Ben Hur.
I see no enemy.
What do you think you see? The smashed body of a wretched animal. There's enough of a man still left here for you to hate.